The beginning. At dawn, the caravan left Sunset House. For the first time, it is dominated by travelers and immigrants, and not a single merchant is seen there. We were enveloped in anxiety, sadness, and pity over what happened to Sunset House and our forced hiatus from training, and I hoped that opportunities would arise along the way to resume focus and diligence in order to alleviate the awaited hardship. Sunrise revealed a flat desert, dotted with springs of water. We walked for a month until the Green Mountain blocked our path, extending from the far right to the far left. We had to cross the mountain up and down, and before us a wide valley appeared in front of us, with an easy and gentle ascent, so the caravan headed towards it. The drizzle fell at intermittent times, so we could forget our loneliness. He made us march during the day and camp at night until we reached the surface after 3 weeks. It was a wide surface with abundant grass, and at its edge, the sheikh said, gesturing with his hand, "Here is the abode of the mountain." He was pointing to another mountain, separated from the Green Mountain by desert, and on its surface stood a high, sprawling house with enormous domes and buildings that spoke of greatness and sublimity. I looked at her in amazement and fascination. It is no longer a dream, but it is a reality, and a close reality. The only thing between us and it is to descend the slope and cross the short desert, then climb the other mountain, and we find ourselves in front of its entrances, and the customs director says to us, "Welcome to the abode of the mountain, the abode of perfection." Our patience diminished and we were in a hurry to leave, so the caravan descended the mountainside in 2 weeks, until we reached the desert. We were astonished as the desert spread out before us as if it had no end, and we could barely see the mountain because of how deep it was in the distance. I was amazed at the deception of the eye, and I was certain that it would be days and weeks before we reached the other mountain on whose roof the mountain house stood. We walked for weeks and weeks, and the length of the distance was doubled by crossing the hills and plateaus. This forced us to turn to the right at times and to the left at other times, until it seemed to me that a lifetime had passed before we reached the foot of the other mountain. We stood below it, looking up, and found it rising above the clouds and defying the longings. Then the owner of the caravan said, "Here the caravan's journey ends, gentlemen." I did not believe my ears and said, "Rather, you will take us up to the top of the mountain." The man said, "The mountain pass is narrow, as you will see, and cannot accommodate a she-camel or a camel." We rushed to our sheikh, and he said calmly, "The man spoke the truth. How do we continue our journey?" He said indifferently, "On foot, as the previous ones continued." The caravan owner said, "Whoever finds it difficult to travel should return with the caravan." But no one's resolve was weakened, and we were determined to take the adventure. I thought about myself and those I had left behind, and about the reasons that might come across me that would prevent me from returning. I thought about that, and a thought occurred to me, which was to entrust the notebook of my journey to the owner of the caravan so that he would hand it over to my mother, or to the curator of the House of Wisdom, for it contains scenes that deserve to be known, and even glimpses into it. About the mountain house itself, it dispels some of the darkness that looms over it, and stimulates the imagination to imagine what is not yet known about it. After that, there is no harm in me devoting a special notebook to Dar al-Jabal, if I have the opportunity to visit it and return from it to my homeland. The man agreed to do the job, so I rewarded him with 100 dinars, and we recited Al-Fatiha. After that, I eased my obsessions and prepared for the final adventure with indomitable determination. With these words, the manuscript of the traveler Kandil Muhammad al-Anabi, known as Ibn Fatuma, concluded. There was no mention in any history book of the person who made the trip after that. Did he continue his journey or did he die on the way? Did he enter the mountain house? What luck did he have in it? Did he reside there for the rest of his life or did he return to his homeland as he intended? Will a new manuscript of his last journey be found one day? The knowledge of all of this is with the knower of the unseen and the witnessed.